Sourav Ganguly was one of India's finest Test captains. He had an innate ability to galvanise his side, especially when the chips were down.
He was a captain, the best of the modern Indian captains, I think, for the reason that he made them a more difficult side to beat, particularly away from home.
I think this is Ganguly's greatest legacy to Indian cricket, is the fact that he taught them self-belief, particularly playing overseas.
No more so than in the first Test in Brisbane in 2003-2004. At 3 for 62, the Indians looked to their captain to provide a flicker of hope.
So it's Sourav Ganguly, and you better believe he's going to get a working over.
Out came Sourav Ganguly with his side under pressure, and we all thought this is not the sort of pitch that Ganguly's going to play well on. The Australian fast bowlers will ruffle him up, they'll bowl a few short ones, and the extra bounce will bring about his downfall.
Boys hit that well. Well, that's certainly beautifully timed, and that will go all the way for 4.
Just over point. Simon Kadich leapt into the air. I think for a moment he thought he had a chance. That's the way Ganguly plays.
Sourav loved to niggle us. He really loved to get in amongst us and get under our skin. And that takes a toughness in itself. To take on the job of irritating the opposition, no matter how good they are, is a really brave step, because you're going to be targeted as a player.
Over the slips again. So that's boundary number 4 for Ganguly.
Wow.
This time he's hit it very well. And that's the way Ganguly... In fact, I'm staggered sometimes that he doesn't play the pull shot, because he's not a mug at it.
He tended to get up the Australians' noses. He did a pretty good job of getting up Steve Waugh's nose.
A worry for the Australian captain at the moment.
Under the most enormous pressure, Ganguly delivered with a half-century from 74 balls.
Oh, there's a 50. Glorious way to bring it up with a boundary. That's a good 50 from the Indian captain, a dominating one.
Oh, how good is that? A classical cover drive from the left-hander. Oh, that's going all the way to the boundary, that one. It's drifted all the way to mid-wicket fence. That's 4. Just a bit of wit. That's all he needed. And moves into the 90s with that shot.
His innings was fast bringing the world's best team to a standstill, and he reached his 11th Test century and his first against Australia with immense skill and courage.
He doesn't like to use his feet. Top edge. They'll look for 2. Fieldsman's Bracken is coming. And he'll get home easily. There's 100. An excellent 100 as well. And isn't he excited? As he should be. It's his first against Australia. Indian captain. He's played a beautiful knock here. 13 boundaries. His first Test match 100 against the Australians and his 11th overall. Perfect captain's knock to start the series.
It was a brave decision the way he played, I think, in that game. There's no doubt that Ganguly, to me, is a much better offside player than a leg side player, which is unusual for a left-hander. So when bowling sides, as the Australians I'm sure have done over the years, attacked him towards the body, he's got to make a choice. He's either going to wear them or he's going to play some shots. And he decided that day at the Gabba to play some shots, to take it on. And he won the battle. That's a courageous decision to make.
How about that?
Ganguly was good enough to leave the swinging ball go when it was outside off, to persist and stay in long enough until it got easy. He wasn't going through great touch of form at that stage too, and that was a breakthrough century for him, and one the Australian bowlers didn't have a lot of control over.
On each occasion that Ganguly has made it to the magical 3 figures, India have not gone on to lose that Test match.
Boy, that's a good shot. Welcome to the bowling crease, Stuart McGill.
It would take Australia's 2 best bowlers, Jason Gillespie and Stuart McGill, to beat the tenacious batsman, and the match, curtailed somewhat by inclement weather, would end in a draw.
And now finally, the wicket of Sourav Ganguly. That's a brilliant century from Ganguly. He's got his side in front and he departs courtesy of Stuart McGill.
Ganguly's 144 was spoken of in the same breath as innings by other Indian batsmen before him. Great innings, such as those played by Sunny Gavaskar, Ravi Shastri and Sachin Tendulkar. Though India drew the final match of the series at Sydney, Ganguly left Australia with 14 Test match wins, the most of any Indian captain.
Really should be quite pleased with that innings.
Not a great fieldsman, not a great athlete, but when he batted sometimes he made stroke play look as good as anyone.
I think he moved India on from an era where they were seen as a little bit lightweight and a little bit of a pushover into an area where they were nobody's fools.